What's up, y'all? It's your boy, Not a Faithful. How's everybody doing? Hope everyone is having a legendary day. We're going to go ahead and it's just going to be your boy, Solo Bolo. But we're going to go ahead and go over running backs and safeties today. We might not be able to get through all positions because apparently, even though I haven't seen anybody report it, seen anything put out by the team or anything, everything I've heard is apparently rookies are reporting. Everybody is that was weird. Headphones disconnected from my girl's phone. Anyway, we're actually really super early today, but that's because hopefully there'll be something happening that will be very, very beneficial for the podcast. And I don't know if y'all can see, we got a new little virtual background I'm going to show y'all. But before we get started with the show and go into safeties and running backs, we got to remind everybody to help out Niner Faithful Radio by using our shop49ers.com affiliate link. Link is in the description of the podcast or video. Go ahead and visit SeatGiant.com. Use the promo code Niner Faithful Radio to save on all your theater, concert, and sporting event tickets, as well as help out the show. Follow us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Tumblr at Niner Faithful Radio and Twitter at Niner Faithful R. Jason does a bang up job on our social media. To see everywhere you can subscribe to the show, go ahead and visit NinerFaithfulRadio.com/subscribe. And make sure you stay tuned to the end of the show for your special 10% off coupon code for all season 2 for the Faithful by the Faithful Apparel. Ladies and gentlemen, Faithful of all ages, let's get the show cracking.
Rice has just set a Super Bowl record with 12 catches. He's in motion. Montana, touchdown, John Taylor.
All right. So like I said, we got a new virtual background. I don't know. Everybody tell me what y'all think. Let me go ahead and move the mic. For those who are listening as a podcast, you can't see. You have to go to Facebook or YouTube to see this. But I don't know. I think that looks pretty dope. But anyway, so there's no Niner news except Brock Purdy got engaged. Congratulations to the Niners quarterback. Make sure you get a prenup, bro. But that's pretty much the only Niner news. This is officially the dead period of the season. So we'll go ahead and we'll start off with running backs. Last year, let me scroll up to it right now. We kept 5 running backs, and then Juice, is listed as a running back, but we all know he's a fullback. Well, really, we know he's an offensive weapon. But I would see us keeping the same. So if we keep 5 running backs, obviously Jeff Wilson Jr.'s not here anymore. Trey Sermon's not here anymore. But Elijah Mitchell makes the team. I thought there was a possibility he might get traded during the draft, but obviously didn't happen. So Elijah Mitchell, Jordan Mason, and Juice. That's 3 right there. CMC, that's 4. Who do we say? Yeah, TDP, Jordan Mason, Juice, and CMC. That's 4. So right now you're looking at on the roster, Ronald Awatt, TDP, Callahan, Labum, Jordan Mason, CMC, Elijah Mitchell. I mean, we all know Kyle Shanahan and undrafted free agent running back, so my money would be on Ronald A. Watt to make the team. So can Latham make the practice squad? Because you know we're going to keep some on the practice squad. So essentially, I feel that like if the rosters were expanded and they got rid of the practice squad and just made those people a part of the 50, or well, it wouldn't be 53 anymore, but part of the active roster, then I think all running backs make the team. But I just don't see. I mean, does he beat out TDP? Obviously, the team has shown tendencies to get rid of third round picks. And obviously, we didn't draft a running back this year. So maybe the team is over that whole third round running back. I mean, let's be real. Maybe if we didn't need a kicker, we would have drafted a running back in the third round. But I mean, does TDP not make the team this year? Because Jordan Mason's making the team. CMC's obviously making the team. Elijah Mitchell's making the team. So you got 3 out of the 5 possible running backs, juice if you want to include him, and say they're going to take 6. So that's 4. So you got 2 spots. Both of the undrafted rookies make it over TDP. When everything I've heard about him has been positive this offseason. I mean, this is what camp is for, but ultimately, no, I think TDP does make the roster. Really, the key to me to the running back position this year is, and obviously it's a lot to ask running backs, especially how much we use them to stay healthy the whole season. But for the prime of this season, the stretch run, if we didn't really get to see it, although it looked marvelous when we did see it, but the 1-2-3 combo of CMC, Elijah Mitchell, and Jordan Mason, especially if we're leading in the game, I mean, I would hope we wouldn't lean on CMC as much as we did last year. I would hope that you would have a lot of CMC maybe the first half. You know, in an ideal, perfect scenario, obviously. You would get a lot of CMC in the first half. And then you sprinkle in a little, Elijah Mitchell, a little Jordan Mason, A. Watt, whoever, sprinkle in a little bit of them. And then Jordan Mason and Elijah Mitchell, I think, would start to take over more and more and more in the second half of games. Maybe not to the level of that third quarter drive against the Cry Girls. But, I mean, could you imagine how awesome that is? Brock doesn't have to be a superstar quarterback at that. Brock, really, to me, Brock just has to be a first half quarterback if everything is going well. And obviously, everything's not going to go perfect for all 17 games, which Brock has shown the ability to come back. And, I mean, to me, his most impressive game was a playoff game against the Cry Girls, and everybody says his stats weren't that great. But, yeah. So that, to me, proves, can you win ugly? Because I do think just quarterbacks who I don't think it's a fluke that Jimmy won. Now, obviously, Jimmy didn't carry the team and all that. But I just feel I just feel that Brock doesn't have to be a superstar. If everything's going well, and even better, we're blowing teams out like we were last year. Why does Brock have to be a superstar? This is a running built football team. So if I'm Kyle, my first half game plan is to try to get up. Obviously, this is the point, but you get up as much as the first half you can, and not necessarily put it on cruise control. But the second half is just about bleeding clock. If this offense can truly be potent as what we saw last year under Brock Purdy, I don't see how that doesn't get us 12, 13, 14 wins. Moving over to the defensive side of the ball to talk about safeties now. Obviously, we can't go far without talking about Jair Brown. To me, whether the Niners will come out and say it or not, this is the safety of the future. Deshaun Gibson isn't going to be on this team. And let's be real, Huff is going to have to get paid next season. So, I mean, how much is that? And that'll be a headache for later in the season. And luckily, I mean, let's be real. Huff was love Huff, but he was a role player, special teamer his first year. Played a great first half. Towards the end of the season, started giving up some more plays. Wasn't as you started to see the flaws in his game more the second half of the season. Tightened it up for the playoffs. So this is going to be very, very interesting. We got a comment. What's up, Kim? How you doing? Congratulations. Everybody, give a round of applause. Kim just got engaged. I believe this is the first show we're doing since she announced her engagement. So got to give props to Numero Dos. Congratulations, Kim. Much happier. Much happiest to both of y'all. So do I believe, let's just go ahead and break down what we did last year. Last year we kept, I want to say it was 4. I was looking at it earlier. 4. And this is where it gets pretty interesting. Because the 4 last year we kept were Talanoa Hufanga, Tavarius Moore, George Odom, and Jimmy Ward. Obviously, we eventually had to bring on Tashawn Gibson when Jimmy Ward got hurt. But obviously, Jimmy Ward, Tavarius Moore, not on the team anymore. So you plug in through Tavarius Moore's role, you're going to plug in Jair Brown. Jair Brown's making this football team. Now, this is where it gets interesting because people would say, you're plugging in, obviously, to Sean Gibson and Jimmy Ward's spot. Now, George Odom's where it gets interesting because you want to say, at first glance, you want to say, yeah, George Odom's making the football team. But not so fast, my friends. You have a one, Miles Hartfield, who plays safety, who basically was brought in by Steve Wilkes. Thanks for the congrats, TJ. No problem, love. No problem. So you're going to say he's going to make the football team. You would assume. I wouldn't understand why Steve Wilkes would want to bring him in and not have him on the football team as you're adjusting to a new defense in your first year. Let's be real. I would hope the Niners obviously have a backup plan if it doesn't work out or he gets another job. But I would think Steve Wilkes would be here for at least 2 seasons. So why wouldn't you want Miles Hartfield on the team? So does George Odom not make this football team? I mean, sure, crazy scenario. Deshaun Gibson doesn't make this team. But I don't see that happening. That would categorize as a shock. A initial 53-man roster shock. Which, let's be real, we all know in the history of football, the final 53 has never been the final 53. Okay, I've been ready for Niners football to start. What, we're a month and 9 days away from the first preseason game. If Jason was correct, we're 2 weeks away from camp starting. For rookies, at least. So I would assume sometime my season ticket, well, not the season ticket rep, but somebody between the Niners is supposed to get a hold of me about why I wasn't able to go to the state of the franchise, why I haven't figured out when we're getting our season ticket gift, and also what's going on with training camp, because I'm going to need that early access. I'm going to need that VIP early access. Also figure out how to take off my sick time so I could take some sick time off for work. Get paid to go to training camp. Hey, at least Dwight Clark Day. So yeah, I don't understand who doesn't make this football team. I mean, you got Tyler Hawkins, Avery Young, George Odom, Talanoa Hufanga, Miles Hartfield, Tashawn Gibson, Jair Brown. I just named off locks. Talanoa Hufanga and Jair Brown are locks. You would think Tashawn Gibson or okay, fine. Jair Brown takes the starting spot, and you say we're cool with Miles Hartfield and George Odom. But you got those three essentially battling for 2 spots. I don't think Tyler Hawkins is going to push for a 53-man spot. Nice practice squad player. But I just don't think he's going to push for a 53-man spot. Ultimately, gun to my head, I'm looking to move forward with seeing McCaffrey in action. You know what, Kim? I'm going to get to your question here in a second. I want to give y'all my final 4 safeties that make the team. I think it's going to stay pretty tight. I think it's going to be Miles. I think Miles Hartfield is going to make the team. I think Tashawn Gibson is going to make the team. I think Talanoa Hufanga is going to make the team. And I think Jair Brown is going to make the team. If by any chance you see we keep 5 safeties, then George Odom makes the team. George Odom is the 5th safety. But yeah, that's ultimately my 53. Now, to get to Kim's point, I've heard a lot about not CMC hate, because nobody can hate on what they saw from CMC. He was definitely worth I feel the Niners won the trade. So, or at least I won't say won the trade, because you never know who the players they got. I would have to break down and look back to see what players they took. But the Niners got so far have won the trade, definitely, immediately. Well, I would say the next week they start paying dividends on that trade. But I'm really super excited to see what Kyle Shanahan can do with the full offseason of scheming with CMC. I think ultimately, and we'll get to quarterbacks eventually, but ultimately, I think that's where the Niners are comfortable with the quarterback room that they have. Because you look at the schedule. I'm going to pull up the schedule right now. Out of the 17 games, we'll go week 1. Does Pittsburgh have the players to match up with Debo, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, CMC, Elijah Mitchell, Jordan Mason, Juwan Jennings, and Ray McLeod? Just those 8 players we could trot on the field, obviously not at once. But those we can obviously march out 5 of the 8 I just named. I don't believe so. Where is the schedule? Okay. I'll skip the yabs. We pretty much know what's going to happen week 2. The Giants. I mean, I wouldn't say in the bag, but like the point I'm trying to make, y'all, is let's go through these teams. And how many teams have the defensive players to match up with that on offense? Plus, then you've got to add in the count that you're going against last year's top defense. So your offense has to keep up with an offense that has these skill players while going up against a top defense in the NFL. Good luck. That's all I got to say. I don't believe most teams. So I wouldn't say we got Pittsburgh in the bag. But I think it'll be us. And like our mistakes, how we play, and outside factors. New York, Thursday night. Those type of factors, they'll determine the amount of games we lose more than our opponents most weeks. I want to give due respect to the opponents that we have on the schedule. What's up? What up, gang? You doubted me before, TJ. LOL. Yeah, well, hey, we'll see. Now, look, honestly, truthfully, yeah, I do believe we're going to beat Pittsburgh week 1. I really struggle to see when our first loss comes. But, yeah, Roberto, gang, bang, bang. I mean, I just don't see most teams being able to match up with us. And then having their offense score on the league's top scoring defense. What was it? Wasn't it like 28 points we were averaging with Brock? Yeah, you need to score an average of 29 points to beat the Niners against this D? Yeah, good luck. Good luck. Now, that's not to say we're going to go 17-0 and, well, it'd be what, 20-0? 20-0 and all that. But it is definitely to say, like, we're a damn good football team. Real quick, anybody want to leave in the comments their 4 safeties and 6 running backs, including Juice? We'll go ahead and add Juice into that. Maybe even Braden Willis. If they want to list him at fullback, I have a feeling they're going to list him at tight end. But I believe, isn't that where he played the most snaps? If somebody knows the answer to that, go ahead and put it in the comments. But I'll give everybody a few moments Oh, Kim said, remember the Bosa thing, TJ? And, TJ in all capitals. Yeah, I was kind of wrong about Nick Bosa. Look, if you go back to the tape, what I said exactly about Nick Bosa was that he'll be great when he's on the field. But I had questions about his ability to stay on the field. Now, look, knock on wood, pray to God, whatever you want to do, count your rosaries. Ben, knock on wood. Hopefully Bubby knocked on wood. Year 2, I was proven right. I mean, let's not forget. Now, look, like I would like look, Nick Bosa is a beast. He's a Hall of Fame player. 97 will 297s will be in the rafters at Levi's. You know, he'll have a statue at the museum. But yes, Kim, I remember the Bosa thing. I said that I had questions on his ability to stay on the field. Anybody been in training camp this offseason, seen anything good on Jake Moody, the kicker? Training camp hasn't started yet. That's actually one of the things we could see really well at training camp is the special teams. I'm really actually excited for training camp this year because the things that we could really see the most are special teams and are the defensive backs warming up and the defense warming up. So I'm super, super excited to go to camp this year. But I will definitely have my eye on Jake Moody. Ultimately, I hope Jake Moody doesn't really matter that much. Sorry, I got a little loud there. I hope Jake Moody doesn't matter all too much, to be honest. I think we all hope that. But everything I've heard from just what I've listened and you know, DMing a few people I know that have been at OTAs. I won't mention any names. But everything I've heard has been he's looked fine. No reason to think anything. I mean, I think what you're more worried about is the mental side of the game with kickers. I mean, everything we've seen, he has a talent to kick. I mean, honestly, if you were just looking at pure talent, you know, leg strength, all that, shit might be better than Robbie Gould. We might have upgraded from Robbie Gould. If you're looking at just a pure talent and money aspect, we upgraded from Robbie Gould, I believe. You know, eventually Robbie Gould was going to hit the downswing of his career. And let's be real, when Robbie Gould trotted on the field most times, it was crucial. That's Rob, and so I mean, I believe the Niners took the best kicker in the draft. I mean, if this fails, am I pissed? I mean, I don't know if pissed is the right word. It's all a gamble. So I mean, I believe the Niners got the best kicker. So unless one of these other kickers ends up being a Hall of Famer and Jake Moody, knock on wood, ends up being a flop, that's the only thing I would question because then it's a talent evaluation issue. You clearly, you know, your special teams coach and the talent evaluators evaluated the talent poorly. I just think that it'll be fine. I think we're going to end up kicking less field goals this year anyway. All right. Well, I guess nobody's going to give their final 53, so we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. But before we do that, we got to remind you to help out Niner Faithful Radio by using our shop49ers.com affiliate link. Link is in the description of this podcast or video. Go ahead and go to SeatGiant.com. Use the promo code Niner Faithful Radio to save on all theater, concert, and sporting event tickets, as well as help out the show. Follow us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Tumblr at Niner Faithful Radio and Twitter at Niner Faithful R. to see everywhere you can subscribe, go ahead and visit NinerFaithfulRadio.com. Subscribe. And your special coupon code for 10% off of For the Faithful, by the Faithful, Season 2 apparel is The New Hope. Go ahead and use it at checkout at NinerFaithfulRadio.com/shop. Niners can never fail, only improve. There you go, Kim. I like that. And on that note, we're going to say faith. We're going to say faith, love, and happiness. Go Niners.
Weiss has just set a Super Bowl record with 12 catches. He's in motion. Montana. Touchdown, John Taylor.
See ya.